The 9-to-5 job is dead. Studies are showing that automation is going to replace as much as 800 million jobs worldwide by 2030. And I'm sure if you haven't been living under a rock, you've noticed that it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. Everything is getting more expensive, and finding a high-paying job that you can live comfortably off of is nearly impossible. If you still believe in the old 20th century idea that you can work hard at a company and climb the ladder and eventually you'll be rich, you're fooling yourself. In the 21st century, this life only leads to financial stress, maxing out credit cards just to survive. We need a new path to getting rich in this new era that we live in. And nobody has done a better job laying out this path than entrepreneur and investor Naval Ravikant. Naval is kind of like your favorite entrepreneur's favorite entrepreneur. Everybody from Alex Hormozi to Tim Ferriss has raved about the guy. And this book, The Almanack of Naval, breaks down the path to getting rich in the new world that we're living in. And from reading it, it really centers around a core idea, which is be yourself. Sounds simple, it's actually quite hard though. But if you can do it, the rewards are massive personal growth, freedom, and wealth. And the rest of this video is gonna break down a 5-step process to getting rich by being yourself. Let's start with step 1, own your work. The biggest reason that the average person doesn't get wealthy is because they rent out their time for money. They show up and work for 40 hours a week and they get paid for 40 hours of time. When you leave the job, the money stops. If you want to be rich, you have to own your work. You're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business, to gain your financial freedom. For example, let's say you're an accountant and you work for a company and you get paid, let's say $70,000, and maybe they have a 401k program. Let's just be real. You're not going to get rich doing that. Sure, if they've got the 401k and you max it out and they match your contribution or whatever, like maybe by 70, you've got enough money to comfortably retire, but is that really the goal? But now imagine that you're that same accountant, but this time you decide to start your own business as an accounting firm. You can eventually get to the point where you're hiring employees and you've put systems in place to where you don't even really have to work and the business will make money without you. Plus, you're gonna get paid a lot more to begin with because you've built a company rather than just working for a salary. And then along with this, the most important part is that the company you have built has actual value, meaning that when you go to retire or you're ready to move on to the next thing, you can sell the company and have an exit. This is what owning your work is all about. It's about making sure that whatever work you are putting in is producing something that can make more money without you having to put more work into it. Now you might be wondering, how does this apply to getting rich by being yourself? Well, the work that you own is going to be an extension of yourself. Think about yourself as the asset, and the things that are out there making you money are simply an extension of the person that you develop yourself into. With the guy who built the accounting firm, he obviously had to develop the skill of being a very good accountant. He's also gonna have to learn a lot of other skills like leadership, marketing, and customer service. He's also gonna have to develop intangibles like discipline and getting out of his comfort zone every single day to push and grow. Basically, the guy in this example got rich through his own personal development, and the accounting firm just happened to be an extension of that. For you, the path's gonna look different. It's gonna involve your own personal journey of development, but the principle still remains. You need to own your work. And one of the best ways to own your work is through knowledge. You leave a job, the income you had at that job stays with the job, but any knowledge that you have gained throughout your life, through studying, anything like that, it transfers with you wherever you go. Knowledge is also our second step to getting rich by being yourself. The most important skill for getting rich is becoming a perpetual learner. Earning with your time is linear, meaning that you put a certain amount of time in and you get a certain amount of money out. But if you learn to earn with your mind, the opportunities become exponential. For example, Warren Buffett can make one decision, and because of the knowledge he's acquired in the field that he finds himself in, that one decision can make him billions of dollars. Learning applied equals growth. Growth equals better opportunities, connections, and income. If you want to be rich, you have to develop the skill of being a perpetual learner. View knowledge and growth as your true source of income, and all the things you do around that make you money are just a byproduct of this. And you might be asking, like, okay, what should I be learning? Well, the obvious answer if you want to make more money is you want to learn money making and business skills. But the less obvious answer has to do with step 3, which is becoming one of one. Our world is incredibly competitive. Globalization has made it so that we're competing on a global scale, and even things like the dating market are more competitive thanks to social media and dating apps. In a world like this, it is useless to be mediocre at something. If you're a mediocre computer coder, you might get a job, but it's gonna be a bad one, and they're gonna replace you as soon as they can with somebody cheaper or better. But if you make yourself a great computer coder, you will have an advantage. Companies will compete to hire you. You'll have better pay and better job security. Or let's say you choose to start a web design business. Well, nobody's gonna hire a mediocre web design company. Everybody wants to hire the best, so they're gonna compete to hire you, and you're gonna be able to charge a premium price. There is no job security in mediocrity. So the path to becoming rich requires you to be great at things. You don't have to be great at everything, but you do have to be great at least one thing. And the things you're gonna be great at are gonna be things that you're interested in, because you're not gonna have the discipline to stick with something that you don't really enjoy long enough to be truly great at it. And this is where this ties back into knowledge. Along with money-making skills and business skills, if you wanna get rich, you need to pursue knowledge in your own interests. The more skill and knowledge you develop around a specific thing, the more of a competitive advantage you're going to give yourself. For example, a couple things that I really love are content creation and real estate. And currently, my main source of income is being a real estate agent, and I get most of my business through creating content on Instagram. Now, when I started getting interested in real estate investing and when I started being interested in content creation, this was not what I expected to be doing with those things, but that path opened up because I pursued things I was interested in and got better at them. And the further I go, the more opportunities I get. Now I'm at a point where real estate agents are offering to pay me money to teach them how to do social media. This applies to everything. I mean, think about basketball. There are literally jump shooting coaches. These people are paid a lot of money to teach D1 and pro basketball players how to improve their jump shot. Think about the kind of person who has that job. This is not a normal career path that you go to college for. This is somebody who loved basketball, especially jump shooting, and they pursued that so that they got so good at shooting jump shots that people were willing to pay them a bunch of money to help them improve their jump shot. And along with this person also had to be interested in coaching and teaching, because those are skills that you have to learn. Most people aren't actually good coaches or teachers. So this person pursued their interests and got better and better at them. They didn't settle for mediocrity. They became the best at this thing to the point where they have their dream job now. I imagine anybody who's teaching Kevin Durant how to improve his jump shot is living their dream. And another path in the same industry, you could be interested in statistics and you like diving into data and keeping up with numbers. This could lead to you being a sports analyst or a sports gambler, or maybe you end up being the analytics expert on a coaching staff. Again, pursuing interests leading to a great career path. The key part of this though is you have to be great at these things. It does no good to be a mediocre jump shot coach. Nobody's gonna hire that guy. It's kind of like how people used to say things like, oh, my mom's the best cook in the world, or like people used to say that kind of thing back when America had stable family units. But it's like, is your mom really the world's best cook? Is she Gordon Ramsay, or does she just make a good pot of mac and cheese? And a lot of people are operating in this mindset where they think they're really great at something, but the market is showing them that they're just not. They might be good on a certain level, but they're not excellent, truly great. That requires a lot of effort, which leads us into step 4, the real hard work. When most people think of hard work, they tend to think of like physical labor, you know, working on a construction site, driving a truck. Blue collar labor is very much associated with hard work, but this is not real hard work. This is just tiring work, which is a lot different than hard work. Hard is growth. Hard is leaving your comfort zone. And there's actually a lot of people who view a physical labor job as something in their comfort zone. Again, it might be tiring to them, but it's not hard. If you really want to be rich though, you have to do the real hard work, which involves growth. This is key to becoming one of one at something. You cannot settle for mediocrity. Think about Andrew Huberman. He pours hours and hours into studying scientific journals so that he can provide just super meticulous data in these deep dive podcasts. He is truly the best in the world at bringing science to the masses, and you've heard of him instead of the thousands of other scientists who would like to do it, simply because he's the best and he's put the effort into being the best. To do this, you really have to dig. It's uncomfortable. You cannot be satisfied with a mediocre product. Whatever it is that you want to be great at, you have to take the same approach. You cannot be satisfied with where you're at right now. You have to keep raising the bar, growing and learning even more. If you wanted to go to the NBA, you can't be satisfied with being the best basketball player in your neighborhood. You truly have to be one of the best couple hundred basketball players in the world. And that means you have to expose your weaknesses. You can't just be talking about, man, I was so great at basketball when I was 11 years old with my friends. It's like, no, you have to keep getting better. Every part of your game, you have to expose your weaknesses, keep keep working, showing up every single day, getting better and better. That is the hard work. Hard work is the suffering involved in doing something great. You cannot skip this step. Step 5 is judgment. Wisdom applied to external problems is judgment. Judgment is about decision making, and good decision making is vital to becoming rich. For example, you might have learned about blockchain and cryptocurrency, and if you did, this would have put you in a position to use your judgment to invest in Bitcoin back in 2011, and you'd be filthy rich right now. One of the key elements to judgment is that it allows you to be directionally correct. Directionally correct means knowing the right direction to move in. If it was the 1980s and you went all in on the typewriter business, that would be an example of being directionally incorrect, and you would have ended up broke. But at the same time, if you went all in on the PC business, you would have been directionally correct, and you would have ended up getting rich. It's more important to know the direction to go in than just about anything else. You can work really hard at the wrong thing and get nowhere. Judgment also has to do with knowing what to avoid. Bad judgment destroys most people's lives. You marry a crazy person and your life's gonna be tough. You have to learn to develop judgment, making good decisions and recognizing big opportunities. You're gonna develop your judgment through both knowledge and hard work. Learning things will give you the knowledge to make good judgment calls. And this will also allow you to see the trends in industries, which will help you find opportunities. And hard work is gonna give you the wisdom from experience that will allow you to avoid bad mistakes and make good decisions. Apply these 5 steps in your life, and getting rich is only a matter of time. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna link to the book in the description below, and I'll talk to you guys later.